All right, everyone. I just wanted to talk about 3 baits that I like to use in the fall. If you look it up online, what is recommended would be a spinner bait, a jig, a lipless crankbait, how you doing? I'm here to stay. A jerk bait and a crankbait. I got one in here. You can probably see that I'm sure other people use it, but I don't see everyone using it in the fall, and that is this here, a drop shot. So we're going to get rid of the spinner bait, even though I should be using this in the fall. I need to start doing it. We're going to get rid of the jig. We're going to get rid of the lipless. This is something I should be throwing too, but I don't. What I use is the jerk bait and the crankbait and the drop shot. Fall is when the shad that were born later in the summer start to migrate back to creeks and stuff to find food, and the bass take this opportunity to try to feed up on them. So this here is a good imitator. It can work really well. A crankbait. I don't throw it as much. I typically really throw the jerk bait here. KVD Chrome Blue J200 2-hook model. And I throw the drop shot quite a bit too. I haven't done it as much this year yet. I really like this, the drop shot, year round, but I do use it in the fall. I even use it in the winter too. Spring, like I said, pretty much year round. Summer, I really like this. This is a 6-inch worm. I don't use a 6 inches much. I typically use like a 4 inch or like 4 3/4, I think it is. A little bit smaller worm. You know, when you're out there, you know, and you're tossing it, you know, that little bit smaller worm, you can get a little bit more action out of, where this has, you know, this has a little bit more weight, so it wants to try to fall down the water more, in my opinion. I use a actual drop shot weight. I use 1/4 ounce for typically everything. I don't really probably drop shot much over probably about 15 foot or so, 20 foot. But what I like about this, if we can get it in focus, is the actual drop shot weight. As you can see, has this little hole here, and then it comes together at the top. And what that allows you to do is to adjust your depth like this. So you can have it down here. You take both tag ends, you pull up, and it locks it in place. And then you can pull it back down, and you can adjust that way. I typically drop shot in the summertime about, I don't know, about 2 foot. Typically in the fall as well. But I always leave myself about an extra 6 inches to a foot, just in case, just so I can have that range. You know, they may go a little deeper throughout the day, or they may, you know, be a little bit more suspended or what have you. But I really love the drop shot. It's my go-to bait. The way that I work this, there are so many different ways you can work this bait. I mean, there are a ton of ways. What I do is I leave a little slack in the line, and then what I do is I give it, in my previous video, I was giving it a jerk, and then jerk real quick like that. and they were nailing it without a pause. And then the other way I was nailing them would be jerk, couple second pause, jerk, couple second pause, jerk, jerk again, and then a couple second pause before I repeat that cadence. And they were really nailing it. I even caught a few where where I was just jerking it the whole way back to single jerks, keeping it steady. I think I had two that nailed it that way. So you can jerk twice, and then once, and then 3 times, and then, or you could go once, 3 times, twice, and then repeat that. Like I said, there's so many different cadences. You can work this thing. Like I said, you can pause it, not pause it. You can do single jerks all the way back. But this has just really been a killer for me in the last couple of years, this color in general. Apparently the color doesn't matter as much because in the fall, like I said, they're chasing the shad, going back to the creeks to look for food. And the bass, the largemouth bass are starting to try to bulk up for the winter. So they say they'll pretty much attack anything, any color. They say color doesn't matter as much. I don't know if that's been the case with me. I know this has worked really well in the fall for me the last few years, this color, this size. So I would definitely give this a look. Maybe go out, order yourself one, get yourself one. It works really well up here where I'm at. They really crush this thing. I really love this jerk bait. I don't typically throw hard baits. They don't come out until the fall, the spring, and the winter. I'm trying to get myself more into using hard baits like in the summer and all. But like I said, I really can't. I can't pass this drop shot up, man. It's killer. I mean, I use it. I'm always at least trying it, and I always catch a ton of fish on it. I hope this helped you out. Got one on crankbait, a little smallie. Oh yeah, it's not a bad little smallmouth. Oh yeah. There we go. Ah, not as big as I thought. Even them small ones, man, they really do fight. Thank you, my little friend.